before we start, what's the legality of us going to Calgary International Airport?
There's nothing against the legality of going there.
Because Kenny has that infrastructure.
You can't go there and physically try to block a roadway. So you can't go on like the on-ramp or off-ramp and just park your car and get out of the car.
As long as you're moving.
Yes. And we can walk, we can drive there like we're going to pick somebody up. We want to target the arrival section with as many people as possible. So it creates a natural situation where they have to divert flights to other airports. And every flight that has to be diverted is a lot more expensive than a flight that gets canceled, because they still got to get those people to their original destination. So that's the idea. It's a non-violent, peaceful, and legal protest. This is why I don't advocate things like blocking highways or trying to block the borders, because when you're physically blocking something, that's illegal.
All right, you lead the way.
You lead the way. It causes a traffic jam.
You lead the way.
That's 100% we will. But we're waiting till 3 o'clock because 3 o'clock is the time where it becomes the most busy, and it's going to give some time for more and more people to get here. So we're just going to ask everybody to chill in their cars so you don't freeze. And around 2:30, we'll see if there's any more and more people haven't started to come. I'll come out, I'll do a quick talk for everybody, and then we'll head out to the airport. And we're doing the same thing. They were so scared in Toronto. They had somebody that tried to like actually block one of the convoys from leaving one of the malls. Obviously they were unsuccessful, and it went. But there's a lot of people involved in this. There's a lot going on. Even if it doesn't cost them billions and billions of dollars, even if only one plane gets diverted from all this, think of the amount of people that we got to come together around the country in such short notice. That's the kind of organization
Toronto's doing theirs right now, right?
They are. They're ahead of us, so they should be arriving there. If I check my phone, I'll probably be getting feeds from people, but my phone was so flooded I didn't even get a chance to look at it right now. But that's exactly what's happening. It's happening in every single province, and that's why I've been traveling around the country, so I can meet people in every province, so I can unite people in every province. Because that's how we're going to get
Sky!
Woo! And it's not going to be in a court, it's not going to be with an election, it's going to be with normal people, normal Canadians stand up and say enough is enough. We're not happy with what's going on, and we want change.
You lead the way! You lead the way!
See that concert? Did you guys see the concert?
You lead the way, we all follow you.
Hundreds of people. Hundreds of people.
You guys heard about
It's
this.
mess.
There was a concert in Texas. Travis Scott.
Satanist.
It
Like
was literally a
Satanist.
satanic ritual in... Yeah, you want to know?
Texas, Texas.
Hell yeah, there you go.
I gotta talk about this.
This is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. So we had it was a mass casualty event where multiple people died of cardiac arrest at a concert. And at first they tried to say, oh, they were trampled and that's what happened. When you see the videos, the so-called trampling happened at the gates during the day. When you see the videos of when people are dying, it's literally while he's up on stage singing. There are children just passing over and dying in the crowd, being taken away. Now they're trying to speculate that they were injected with some kind of tainted drug. We all know what they were injected with because it was a requirement of the concert. And now people are trying to say, oh, they got trampled, so that's what led to heart. No. If someone gets trampled, they may die of asphyxiation, suffocation. You won't die of a heart attack from getting stepped on or from getting smothered. That just never happens. It's never happened in human history. And if you look at the artwork of the stage, it was a perfect depiction of a very famous painting called Christ in Limbo. And it shows a big mouth of all people coming out of the mouth. And that's exactly what he put up on stage. And the big head was his, and all the people were coming out of it. And this is a very famous painting, and it's a depiction of Christ being descended into hell with all of us. And this is what he put on the concert when there was a mass casualty event for the first time in human history. And he had children as young as 10 years old dying at a concert.
While he's singing,
Yeah, he wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop.
This is also true.
He just
There's
kept
so
going.
many ridiculous signs pointing to exactly what this is, and they're trying to call it anything but. In fact, me posting a video about it, basically talking about how I just posted now, was the first tweet I've ever posted that got a special display that would not allow people to comment on it, and it would try to limit the amount of retweets. And it didn't break any of their violations or any of their guidelines just because they didn't want me talking about it. And this is the kind of stuff they're doing. And that was the same day. This is right after they made the jab legal for 5-year-old children. Not just legal, they did it unanimously. And not only did they do that, if you look at the fine print of the FDA, it's not even approved. It's just emergency use authorization. So now your 5-year-old is a lab rat. And it gets even worse because they already know that they're going to cause heart damage. They know the younger, especially the boys, get heart damage. So what do they do in your child's vaccine? They put a special medication in it that they give to people who have suffered heart attacks to mask the symptoms of the heart damage they know they are going to cause with this jab. And by 2022, they plan on making it legal for your 6-month-old. And if you saw what they did today, I thought it was so shameful I had to post it as well. CNN.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
You're censored. How are you going to post it?
Did you see what he did? They partnered with Sesame Street and did an entire segment teaching your child how the only way to be a good 5-year-old is if you go out and get that vaccine to make you and your family and everyone around you safe and healthy and happy. CNN partnering with Sesame Street, the literal unholy alliance. And you have any more questions of what their intentions are? Their intentions are to come and kill and maim your children while enslaving you at the same time. Henry Kissinger said it. He said it in 2009 at a conference on eugenics. Get the herd to go along with mandatory vaccination, and you can get them to do anything. A forced blood draw for the greater good even. Forced organ donation. It's a brilliant scheme, and you pharmaceutical companies stand to make billions. It's a wonderful idea where the herd pays for its own extermination.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you're doing. You're enslaving yourselves. We just came from a restaurant where we couldn't eat inside. Every single town and city I stopped in on this tour, we found a friendly restaurant that invited us in with open arms, said, screw that vaccine passport, we want to feed you guys. And we welcomed it, and we returned the favor by bringing a lot of people with us and bringing them a lot of business. Today, we didn't get that. Today, we got there, and they basically put our food in a takeout container and kicked us out. This is not the government, ladies and gentlemen. This is your fellow citizens imposing this on you. And if you think how ridiculous it is, just think about the logistics of this. Say 75, 80% of the people that actually walk in there did have a vaccine passport. And the people like us that walk in simply said we don't. And they see you. Are we going to report them? No. Obviously not. We want to eat there. The other people that gave their Vax Pass aren't going to report them because they gave their Vax Pass. Yeah. So really, what are the chances of a government official just happening to show up at your restaurant or place of business and saying, I want to see everybody's papers? Yeah. That's the kind of, and people say, oh, well, I don't want them to close my restaurant now. Well, maybe they should. Just like all the people that are saying, maybe we shouldn't go to the airport today because you're going to get all those people at the airport upset. Oh, you mean those same people that took the jab, that downloaded the vaccine passport app, that are perpetuating and enabling this? You think that I feel bad asking them to give up a few hours of their lives while they were happy to give up all of our freedoms? No, I don't feel too bad for them. I definitely don't feel too bad for the airlines. The airlines are the ones that are being bribed with our tax dollars to then impose these draconian, illegal mandates on us and take away our rights and freedom. The federal government couldn't have banned us from traveling without the help of the airlines industry.
That's right.
No, they couldn't. It's an unholy alliance. So if you strike at one, you strike at both. And taking out the airlines and making them say, oh, sorry, it's too expensive for us to impose these mandates, and you don't have enough tax dollars to bribe us with, because we're going to go broke. That's the equivalent of chopping off one of the government's legs in this fight. And make no mistake, it is a fight. You're at war. It's 100% war of good against evil. If you didn't know it by now, go watch that traffic stop video, and you'll see exactly what you're up against. 100% certified evil.
Literally.
And all evil needs to succeed is for good people to do nothing. And that's what they're counting on. They're counting on you to sit there, shut the hell up, take that injection in your arm, and give it to your children and watch them die. To the point where they have the audacity, if you don't think that they will, look at this. A good friend of mine's grandmother took the jab. His grandfather didn't. They were divided on the issue. Oh, guess what happened to her? She's terminal in the hospital, dying. We don't know how many days she has left. Guess what they told her husband? You're not allowed to go visit your wife who's in here and dying because of the vaccine unless you take it too. And you can't get her out of there. You try to get her out of there, they won't let you.
Nope.
They won't let you. The only way you're going to visit your sick relative in the hospital in any of these places right now is if you get a group like this and you show up there in force and you walk in and you walk up to the face. Otherwise, if you go by yourself, they're going to get 10 guards and grab you. And they're going to make you look like a crazy person. But if you're together, if you're united in non-compliance, you will get your way, you will get your freedom. And that's what this day is a lesson in. It's a lesson to see how united Canada really is. It's a lesson to see how serious people are really taking this. And if you aren't taking it right serious, I'd say it's about as serious as a heart attack. Or your 5-year-old kid. And soon to be your 6-month-old kid. And what do you think is going to happen with the 3rd shot? And the 4th shot? And the 5th shot? You think they're going to get more healthy? Or you think you're going to find more problems? How are you going to live with yourself, allowing your child to be killed or maimed for life because you didn't have the balls to stand up for them? When I went off on Nanaimo, they deserved it. I had a little 8-year-old girl walk up to me when I was done. And she's like, do you remember me? I was here the last time. I'm like, of course I do. I signed a book for you. She said, yeah, that's right. She's like, I don't know if you heard, but I was the one cheering you on while you were screaming at everybody. And I was like, really? Why? And you know what she said? She said, because nobody else is standing up for us. Not her mom, not her dad, not anybody from her friggin' pathetic town that day. Nobody. Just one person. One random idiot that just happened to be driving through town. But that's all it takes. It takes one person to make all the difference. I've been waking a lot of people up. A lot of people. And if every person I woke up, if every one of you did the same thing for just one person, we would get through this so quickly and so painlessly. But Canadians like to suffer. Canadians are gluttons for punishment. I warned you all 18 months ago, literally, exactly what would happen, right down to the number of masks they were going to make you wear after your 2nd shot. And right down to the month where they were going to fire you from your job if you didn't take the jab. And I told you, if you don't do something now, it's going to be a lot harder to stand up later, and you're going to have to suffer. And now you're at the point where suffering is inevitable. Millions of you are facing termination from employment or school, or just ostracization from society. Millions, if not tens of millions. Why? Because you didn't listen, and you didn't do anything. You sat on your asses and thought we could just keep our head down and get through this. Or even better, you could comply your way through this. Let me see how that works out for you when you're on your 6th shot in a wheelchair, if you're that lucky to make it that far. But that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. You're at the point where suffering is inevitable. And I told everybody, like I sounded like a mean person when I said it. I said, Canada probably needs to suffer.
Yeah.
You know what? You're only suffering because you're weak. And the only way you're going to get stronger is by suffering. And the only reason we're going to get out of this is if every single Canadian collectively gets a little bit stronger. And if that means the whole country has to suffer for a few months without a job, well, then so be it. And in this case, if that means some Canadians have to suffer for a few hours without a flight, then so be it. There's nothing more important to our country, to our family, to our children than freedom. This is why previous generations fought, bled, and died for this freedom. Literally, by the millions. And we have people giving it up because they're worried about being able to travel, or worried about their stupid job, that they can get another one. Or even funny, I heard someone worried that they wouldn't be able to play volleyball at the community center anymore. And that was enough to make them go give in. Ladies and gentlemen, every single one of you has a duty and responsibility to uphold the freedom in your country. Freedom is not a right. It is not just given. It is taken. It was taken through war. And you had the privilege to have it handed to you on a silver platter. And that's why it's being taken from you without the platter. So either you fight now in this way to get it back, or in the coming months, you're going to have a different type of fight on your hands. All that psychological warfare that they've been waging on you is going to turn to physical warfare. Families will be ripped apart, literally and physically. Some of you will be jailed. Some of you will be killed if you don't stand up for yourselves now.
You gotta stand up, people.
This is your last chance. Today we're going to see how much Canadians value their freedom, how much Canada is united, and how much we can push back against the government. We've already won. They've reached peak vaccination. They're not going to get more people to take the third shot than they got to take the second shot.
Right.
It's just illogical. And they're not going to get as many to take the fourth as they got the third. So every single day, they get weaker and we get stronger. That is why they're pushing so hard. That is why they're trying to make you submit right now, because this is their last chance. If a couple months more go by and the exact same amount of people have been jabbed, and that 6-month threshold comes and nobody takes their booster, and all of a sudden, only 60% of the country is now supposedly fully vaccinated, because you're never fully vaccinated. You're only fully vaccinated for a little short amount of time. So their time wanes unless they get all of us to comply. That's why they're coming for your children. They need those numbers up as high as they can, and they think if they can get you to sacrifice your 6-month-old, they can literally get you to do anything. And I believe they're right. But I don't believe that they can get you to sacrifice your 6-month-old. I do believe that Canadians finally have a line in the sand. And that line in the sand has to be their children. It has to be, ladies and gentlemen. There is a psychological and physiological connection to your child that will physically and morally not allow you to kill them. And if no government can get that out of you, no matter how much they try to coerce you. Nobody. And that's why we've already won. But how long it takes us to walk to the light at the end of that tunnel is entirely up to you. How much you and your family suffer individually is entirely up to you. One way or the other, we will succeed. I will never submit. I will die before I submit. And as long as there are others like me, that means the end result is we win. So why wait? Let's just win right now. We're going to give it like half hour, we can chill out, and then we're going to go to that airport. I want to wait for that sweet spot. Oh, that's the next thing. If you guys really want to know, if they get you to go along with all of this garbage, first of all, the first thing is they want you to get the COVID Safe app, or whatever they call it, the Verify Ontario or Verify Alberta app. And once you get that, now you have a digital vaccine passport, which is also tied to your digital identity. In the coming months, they plan on introducing a digital currency. I know a lot of people have no idea what that means, but it's a very staggering implication. Now your digital vaccine passport is tied to your digital currency. Your little app is going to tell you, you got to get vaccinated by this date. If you don't get vaccinated by that date, boom, you lose access to your accounts, you lose access to your ID, your job gets informed, your school gets informed, and you get kicked out until you get your jab. Now at that point, there's nothing from stopping them and saying, now you got to take a jab every 4 months or every 3 months. Now you got to give mandatory blood donations every other week. Now you got to submit to organ donation. There's nothing stopping what they ask you to do at that point. And it gets even worse. If you're on any type of government assistance, no jab, no money. If you want to work or go to school, no jab, no job or school. And if you're one of those people that think you're going to get through this because you're older and you can retire and collect your pension, well, surprise, your pension's going digital. It's going to be attached to your vaccine passport, so no job, no pension. That's the world they want to have planned for you. And it's a very simple reason why. Right now, each and every one of you are individuals with power. A little bit of power, in varying amounts. But when you come together, it's undeniable power. The kind of power that you can do anything you want. You can literally reshape the country as you see fit. In their new system, you're nothing but a blip on a screen that they can flip a switch and eliminate. And that individual power is gone, that collective power is gone. And that means your children will never know success, your children will never know stability, your children will never know freedom. In other words, your children won't even want to be alive. You will leave them in a nightmare, dystopian situation worse than any movie you can even imagine. And that is the reality sitting right at your front door. If you do what you're told, if you keep complying. It's time to be like Florida.
Yes.
It's time to stand up for yourself. There's a reason why their governor is making it illegal and punishable to enforce vaccine passports. He actually cares about his people. He's not a crazy person. He's not some psycho. He's the only one standing up for the people. He's
Not
the only
Jason
one.
Kenney, right? Not Jason Kenney, right?
Okay, yeah, Jason Kenney. I'm not even allowed to talk about Jason Kenney right now. Give me a few more weeks. Get through the court system. We all know how complicit all of these politicians are. We all know how it doesn't matter who you vote for.
Yeah,
You got the same
not.
thing.
No.
Especially all you PPC purple wave riders. Think about it like this. How many of you voted for lockdowns? Raise your hand. Didn't think so. How many of you voted for vaccine passports and business closures? Didn't think so. So does your vote matter?
No.
I didn't think so.
PPC, no.
Who voted for that?
Nobody except the Nazis.
Literally.
Follow the money on that one.
Follow the money anywhere. It's always the same. It goes to government corruption, and it goes to the very, very core of this problem and the very, very crux of the solution. That none of this is about health and safety. Every single aspect of this is about control. Period. So get it through your head. Is it? Pearson's all jammed up, ladies and gentlemen. Beechwood,
Airport, we're there.
What time is it right now, ladies and gentlemen?
10 to 2.
10 to 2.
You lead the way, we'll come there.
I want to wait 20-30 minutes so we get there at 3 o'clock.
Pearson's jammed up. So.
Pearson's nice and jammed up. We're going to jam it up. As we're driving there, every single one of you better be on the phone calling everybody you know, telling them to come there. We're going to make it a goddamn picnic. I don't care if you guys want to stop at the grocery store along the way before you meet up with us. Grab yourself some drinks, grab yourself some snacks. Let's make a day of it.